Yes. Hey, Timmy. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yes, yes. Tell us a little bit about you. What do you do? Where you at?
Let's see. I'm 42 years old. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm single,
Okay, okay.
and
No. You don't have to talk that much. This is not like a, I don't know, matchmaking, okay? But who knows, right? Sorry.
no. I am in real estate for 8 years now, and love basketball. I like to go karaoke. What else? I like to do a lot of random stuff actually, here and there, but mostly just like activities, with friends and everything. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. And you have two cats, yes?
Three.
Three.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you had two, but you had three. All right. Okay, so share with us a little bit. How was your life like before the mentorship? So before you and I met?
So honestly, I think maybe a year or two right before we met, I got to this point where everything just felt very stagnant. And then I felt kind of stuck, lost, and I wasn't sure where I was going, and I didn't feel like I achieved anything in life. So it was a kind of a down point in my life, to be honest.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happened after? Well, yeah, what happened after we met?
Well, I mean, you popped into my life, and then I was just like, I think, and not trying to, sound cliche or anything, but it was like a turning point almost, right? Because you kind of introduced me to this idea, which I always thought I had it in me, but then I
Mm,
realized no, I didn't. I've always been a positive person, and I thought I had life figured out, my attitude toward life. But then I
mm,
realized I was missing a lot of things which you taught me later on.
Well, I can say this is the thing that people think that, okay, personal development or manifestation is about positive thinking, but it's
Hmm.
not that, right? But also, I think most important thing that I think I shared with you was being having positive mental attitude towards yourself. I think that was the most
Yes.
important thing, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. How do you think that kind of help you to shift, transform, if you will, your positive attitude towards yourself?
So I think, back then I used to devote all my energy to people and things around me,
Mm,
except myself.
mm,
And I'm still not perfect, but well, but I now I learned to divert some energy towards myself, and that basically helped me feel better, number one. Number
mm,
two, having more confidence, having more self-worth. And before it was kind of a giving mentality where it's like you're just trying to please people. Now you're giving you're giving to people because you have the ability to. You
mm.
have the spare, you know, goodwill or whatever
Yes,
to
yes,
be able to give to other people around you. Yeah.
yes, yes. And I always say that you cannot give from an empty cup, right? And that
Hmm.
it was feel like what you were doing. Because I mean, you're a giver to me, and I know you're a nice guy, right? However, I was sharing that if you continue to give, and you don't give it to yourself, one day you have nothing to give because you're empty. And what you're sharing now is that I gotta fill myself first, and when I'm
Hmm.
full, then I can overflow to others, right?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah. So okay, so what are some of your biggest shifts? So we talked about how the way you thought about yourself, your self-image. Yes. What else?
So, because before I met you, I was at this point where I wasn't, I guess, doing well in life in general. Right. I
Hmm.
mean, I was doing okay, but I was getting by and I didn't know what was ahead.
Hmm.
And, I think, in the process of the mentorship, I was able to open up my, I guess, my horizon, if you will. to see a lot more possibilities for myself. I'm feeling more self-worth.
Mhm.
I was feeling more confident and
Yeah.
genuinely being happier being myself.
Yeah.
Okay. But at the same time, understanding how to adjust myself so that, I'm not just giving, giving, giving. I'm also taking care of myself. And I think
Yes.
that's the biggest thing for me. And then also just knowing that, I'm good enough for anything that I put my mind to. If I want it, manifest it, and then it will happen. Just gotta,
Yeah.
stay focused on all the inner work. And then, I still steer off sometimes, but whenever I remind myself, I go back into meditation, visualization, and then I can see again what I'm trying to go for and what I'm working for, and then, I can refocus. So
Yeah, yeah, beautifully say. I wish, like I wish I could show like the before and after pictures of very different, you know what I mean? Not just the looks, but just the demeanor, the way, just the energy, right? Like before it was very like you said, just not sure about yourself and right. But now like the way you
always
talk,
self-doubt.
right, yeah, and I
Yeah.
had to force that out of you. Remember our first
Yeah, you had to,
conversation to me, man? Like I literally, I was so like, I think because I saw the potential in you that you didn't see in yourself. So I'm like, I was like, dude, only if you knew, right? I had to do that. Right?
you
So
had
you
to
want
smack me around a little bit.
to? I mean, I want to. You like push me, like you pushed my button. No, but no, just kidding. But I just really wanted you to see what I saw in you that you didn't see in yourself, right? And that's what mentorship is, that seeing what's possible for you before you even see it for yourself.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah, yeah. So with that being said, right? So you mentioned that you started focusing on yourself. What have you manifested since then, since you started to working on yourself? Let's talk about career and then we can talk about other material things. Yeah?
So definitely, first of all, I feel like I manifested a new career, um, that I actually enjoy, and I'm having fun with it right now. Before, when I first started in real estate, I was a full-time agent, obviously for 2 years, but not knowing what to do, and obviously the mindset wasn't correct, so I struggled. I didn't do well, um, but I knew I wanted to stay in real estate, so I took on a full-time job in our real estate office, being on the administration side as well, and then try to, do real estate on the side, right? And then, basically got to a point where I need that salary. So I just kind of had to stick to it and didn't have time or energy to do much in real estate. And then I got complacent, I got comfortable. So I just kind of stayed in it. But then year 3 and 4 came around. Um, year 5 and 6 came around, and I start to feel like, you know what? I'm not happy here either, right? I'm like getting burned out. There's a lot of things to do all the time, and then I don't have time and energy for my own career that I initially set out to do. So I started to feel stuck, and then you kind of came along. So changed my mindset, changed my uh, kind of convinced me to take that leap of faith. So I was able to kind of get out of that comfort zone and then started doing a bunch of things that I'm really uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
And but it turned out great, turned out to be one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I feel like I almost manifested a new career out of this. Um, and then, like I've never been very materialistic, that, you know. But I also learned that, there's just nothing wrong with treating yourself well every once in a while.
Yes. Absolutely.
So I know we're gonna ask, but got a new car. Um,
Yay! What type of car? I mean, we talk. I mean, this is months coming, so I think I'm more excited than you. But so, what car did you get? Just
I got a Tesla Model Y.
nice. What color?
Oh, blue, of course. That's my color.
Oh, nice. Okay, because I remember when we were talking about what car you wanted to get, you were thinking about Mazda, right? Not Tesla at the time,
Yeah,
right?
like I wanted a two-door coupe, like manual transmission, because I was like, I mean, I still want that, but I want that as a toy car in the future,
Okay.
but definitely need something that's, I guess presentable and then also efficient. for my business, and that's got to come first.
Yeah, and how do you feel? Tell me, like, tell us, like, how do you feel when you're driving it? Because this is the thing that most people don't understand. They think that
Hmm.
buying material things is just show off and things like that. But we know, right? It's not. It's actually the fastest way to push your self-image, and that's why I was kind of telling you to like get the car. It's not about the car, but it's about how you feel when you're driving the car. So yes, share with us.
Yeah, so actually funny you mentioned that. So just I just got my car like maybe two months ago, 3 months ago. So before that, when I transitioned out of this office full-time job and then went full-time agent, I was still driving my Camry. And Camry is a very reliable car. It's nice. I have a black, and then I always have it, washed nice and clean. But then when I started to, meet more clients and show homes a little bit more, I start to, and then I'm not trying to knock on Camry, okay? Don't get me wrong. But when I'm seeing the clients pulling up in like, fancy Mercedes and, BMWs or like, I find myself starting to like park my car further and further away from the house so I can walk over and then maybe hopefully they won't see what I'm driving. And again, I hate to say this, but when you're a salesperson, and you gotta present yourself a certain way. And then I learned that it's just that I wasn't sure if I wanted to make that financial move.
Yeah.
But then now that I have the Tesla, I honestly I feel like I can I usually now I just pull up proudly to the front of the house and park it right there, and I hope that the clients will see what I'm driving. And I mean, I'm not saying normal wise like crazy stuff, but it's presentable. It's something that what it's you know totally appropriate for what we do,
Yeah.
and just definitely overall feeling good about what I'm driving, how I'm presenting myself, and so on and so forth. So.
Absolutely, right, Timmy. And again, this comes down to your relationship, right? Because if you before, like what you're saying, it's like hiding and but now it's like I feel good, I feel presentable. Imagine what the energy you're putting out to the universe and what you're gonna attract,
Hmm.
right? And with that being said, let's talk a little bit about like what have you manifested, right? As far as business goes. So as I know we were, when we first started working, gave you an affirmation. Yeah. And now
Hmm.
finally the affirmation is coming to reality. Yes.
Yep. So when I first started, I had a very limit. I had a lot of limiting beliefs, and so I never, in a way, I was subconsciously denying myself of a lot of opportunities because I was like, oh, that's scary, so I don't want to do real estate full time. I want to still hold on to my 9 to 5 and get that salary payment paycheck every month. Or like, oh, this particular client, what they're looking for is something that I've never done before. So, you know what, maybe I should refer it out or whatnot. But basically, what I was able to manifest is, I wanted more opportunities, right? The one that kind of stuck. Well, you gave me a lot of affirmations, but the one that stuck with me was, my mind is open and anything's possible. And then, money and opportunity comes to me easily and effortlessly, right? These are the ones that I still stick with, on a daily basis. And basically, I mean, literally, just out of nowhere, just opportunities are just coming in left and right. And then, don't get me wrong. Am I converting everything? No, absolutely not. But just the amount of opportunities that's now come into me is able to keep me so busy that now I have to pick and choose. Like, okay, I know how to do this. Let's do this first. And then that one seems a little outstretched. Maybe we'll give it a little thought,
Yeah,
but it
you gotta up your game, okay? But
yeah, for sure.
yeah, but at least your vibration, you see, I always talk about there's two sequence, right? So first is your vibration. Your
Hmm.
vibration is to attract opportunities. So that's the thing
Yeah,
that you and I worked on, your self-worth, your self-image, limiting beliefs. Then you attract those opportunity. The second part is the skill set, which you're working on.
I'm
Yeah.
still working on that for sure. Yep,
Yeah, and that's a never ending because we can always get better at our skill sets, right? But you
definitely.
first, but most people they're so caught up in the first one. Oh, skill set, skill set. But if they don't change the mindset, they won't get any opportunities, right?
Hmm.
But now you've worked on the mindset, which is the most important piece. And then the skill set, of course, that will come with experiences, time, and things like that. Yeah. Yeah. So I remember the affirmation when we first started, well, the goal was to have 2 escrows. I don't know if you remember,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then it hasn't come true. This
So, actually, I got 3 escrows this month. So yeah, I guess it came true.
you like come on, like remember where you came from, okay? It's really it's don't remember to celebrate you, okay? How far you've come.
Yeah.
'Cause
You know what?
I
I need
remember,
to work on that.
yes.
I need to work on that. I still need to work on that. Like, I mean, I'm overall very,
Do not say the word humble. I'm gonna
oh, I was gonna say reserved. So, like I'm the kind of guy that I like to flex low key.
nah. That I mean, you and I talked about this. I know the thinking behind that. I get it, but it's not flexing. You're just celebrating you. And that again is
Oh.
so you're celebrating you. It's not about your for example, you're not driving this car because you want other people to say something, right?
Mhm.
Validate. No. I mean, if they say something, great. But you're driving it because you like it. You know what I mean? So it's not
Yeah.
really flexing. And so what if it's flexing if you're able to help people show people, hey, what's possible, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's not about you, but it's about showing people what's possible.
See, I still need coaching till this day.
Of course you do, Timmy. Of course, it's an ongoing thing, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and want to talk a little bit also about how you're able to provide to your family and take them on
Mm.
vacation and things like that. Remember?
Yeah, no, thank you for asking that. So, basically, during my, 6, 7 years in real estate, really wasn't able to visit my family back in Taiwan as often as I wanted. Number one, the first few years was financial hardship, and then the last 3 years was COVID. And then, you know, I think that was a big thing for me because, by the time I was able to go back, and then when I did visit the first time, like 2 years ago, right, 2022 was when they finally opened up and allowed travel and stuff in Taiwan. I went back, saw my parents, and everybody got older just out of nowhere. And then um, that's when I realized that, man, like I mean, I've been here in the States by myself for like 30 plus years. And uh I mean, I've always knew that they're important to me, right? But because they're not with me all the time, so sometimes you kind of lose sight on that. Went back 6 years apart, didn't really see them that often. And then when I finally saw them, I was like, oh my gosh, like my parents are getting older, and how much time do I have left to be able to spend with them? So I kind of made this promise to myself that from now on, I'm gonna go back every single year. And in the future, I want to be financially capable to visit whenever I want. That's now one of my, big whys or my goals. So last year when I went back, I've never traveled with my family in the past. So, I basically told my mom, they go to Japan a lot. So like, hey, mom and my brother, I was like, I've never been to Japan. How about, last year, how about this trip? Let's go to Japan and just check it out. So last year I did okay in the first half of the year. So I was able to basically, pay for the whole trip, cover everything, and it just felt great. It felt really, really good to be able to like really finally kind of give to the family. Although I don't live with them, I don't get to see them that often, but it just, felt amazing, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I've always been a giver, just that, I've always tried to give my energy and time. But then I realized sometimes it's just as powerful to be able to give something, that money can buy.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Which is experience. And money can actually buy time.
There you go. There you go. That is a big piece.
It is. It is. Okay. So and that feeling, right, to be able to provide for your family and buy that experiences it's priceless, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I remember that. I remember we make sure that happened. So, beautiful, beautiful, Timmy. So share with us, what made you decide? I know we kind of talk a little bit, but what made you decide to invest in this mentorship and in yourself?
Oh, answer's easy because you made me cry.
Hey, don't, let's
Because
not go there.
on our very first conversation, that consultation, you just made me ball tears, and I was just like, okay, she's the one.
How did I make you cry? Oh my God. But why though? Like, I mean, to tell the audience, because they might think, I mean, I don't, like, what did I do? How did I make you cry? Come on. Did I
I'm
like,
getting emotional thinking about it. No, because you hurt my feelings. That's why.
no, of course
No, no, no,
not.
no, no. Okay, okay. Let me clarify, guys. Let me clarify. So, you made me cry because you were able to hit on so many key points of the things that I was not willing, I was in denial about, things that I wasn't willing to face,
Mm,
which was, you just basically slapped me and said, you have low self-worth, you have, low self-esteem, you don't think you're good enough. And then I was like, true. And then started volunteers. And then yeah, I mean, but that was the emotional impact, right?
like,
That we've always been talking about that was required for
yeah,
me to make a change.
yes,
And you know, um, and also at that time, I mean, I've always known this, but I just never really knew what it meant, which was if you continue to do the same things over and over, you will never get this, you'll never get a different result. Right. I was doing the same stuff over and over, and I wasn't willing to get out of my comfort zone to make big changes in life.
yeah,
So, of course I was still stuck. Of course I was feeling lost and stagnant.
yeah,
Um, but I think ultimately it was just that conversation alone and just kind of like number one, you made me feel like you actually cared. Like you were passionate about it too. Like, okay, for someone that the way you talk to me, sorry, for someone to talk to another person on their first meeting, you're either a jerk or
a
you really
jerk.
cared. No, you're either really mean or you really cared, right? And then I was able to identify that you actually really cared, you know?
Yeah, and to someone that I still to this day have never met you. Oh, actually, we have met in person.
No, we've met once.
Oh,
We
but do
had
we do
breakfast one time
breakfast?
at JJ Bakery
Oh, right, right, right. Oh my God, I totally forgot about it.
before
Before
right before you were leaving
I
for
left.
Dubai.
Oh my God. Okay,
I
thank
was like,
God.
Amy, we need to meet
Yes.
up before you leave. Please don't leave me hanging like that,
Yes.
I don't
Okay,
even know if you're I don't even know
but
if you're real or you're just AI. So can we please meet in person?
hey, but when we first starting talking online, I mean, it was on Zoom. Like we didn't know each other. Honestly, I didn't know you. You didn't know me. So it was kind of like a stranger. I mean, I was a stranger to you. So I can
Yeah.
see it was kind of like, like, are you for reals? Like, but you could
Yeah, like, who
feel
are you?
yeah, but you could feel that I truly genuinely like care and really like wanting you the best for you,
Oh,
even
for
though you're
sure. For
right.
sure.
But because that's the intuition, that's the heart, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what I said, but it's how I made you feel, right? That's why
Yeah.
you felt it, you know.
Yeah.
And time passed by. Now it's like a year and a year and a half later, and now you're living in a different life, right? So,
Yeah.
um, for the people like, what do you think your life would be like if you didn't make the change, right? Like you said.
Oh, and then I don't know if you remember this. Sorry, to add to the last question, I think there was also one time you got so mad at me that you cried.
I I know.
And
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I
And
remember that. You're because I was kind of like reverting back to my old thinkings and habits, and then you just gave me a hard time. Like you were just so mad at me that you actually cried, and that was when I was like, okay, I need to stop messing around and do what Amy says because like she actually really cares. Because I think during the mentorship, right, it's easy to revert back to your, oh my gosh, paradigm.
You
It's been a while.
it's been so long, huh?
Things are starting to like escape my mind. Yeah, it's very easy to like shift back to your paradigm, and also you don't get to see your coach on a daily basis, right? You have the calls, you have the trainings and the meetings, but it's not every day, so it's very easy to kind of just fall back to it. And then I think I fell off the wheel for like a good 2 weeks, and then we got on a call, and you just got on my case, and you were like, just excuse my language, you bitched me out. You bitched me out because I was starting to do this and that, and I was being honest about it. But you're like, "Why are you going back to this? Why are you doing that?" And then you start tearing up like on a Zoom call like this, and I was like, that was
Yeah,
powerful too. So that
yeah.
emotional reaction was also another um like indication telling me very loud and clear that you cared, and I think that was the big thing for me because it's
Mm,
very easy like when you're getting paid to do things, like a lot of people, they just do the job, but
yeah.
you actually, am I able to cuss in here? You actually
Cousin?
cared.
No, yeah, yeah,
You
for
actually
yeah,
cared a lot.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. And then sorry to divert, but what was the next question?
Okay, no, it's fine. Yeah, it's real. It's real. Well, that's what
I'm as
happened.
real as it gets. I'm super real. So
Yes. And so no, the question was, where do you think your life would be like if you didn't invest?
oof, I probably won't be visiting my family every year for the past 3 years. I probably will still be stuck at the 9 to 5, or maybe even transitioning out of real estate because I was fed up with being on the back end of operations. Um, I'm not saying anything wrong with the company or the job itself, it's just that it wasn't for me.
Yeah,
But because of my old limiting beliefs, I wouldn't have jumped out and recommit myself to full-time sales. I wouldn't have the flexibility that I have now. I wouldn't be busy and yet happy about being busy. Before I was being busy and I was like pissed off about being busy, right?
it was busy work. You didn't have the results, but now it's
Yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I would just, still be a, 40-year-old, not happy and, not knowing where I was going. I wouldn't have found my big whys. Like I
mm,
spent a long time trying to find my big whys, and I would have still not have found it because if I wasn't part of the mentorship.
yeah, yeah. And then that's huge. And I think most important to me is that you were able to find yourself. I think that's truly the most important part, right? So, um, so what would you say to people? Maybe they're watching this and they're like, "Oh, I don't know if I should invest in myself, invest in a mentorship." What would you say to them?
Um, if you don't do it, sorry, my cat's being a pest. If you don't do it, you don't deserve a good life. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I think if you don't invest in yourself, you don't deserve a good life.
Mm,
And this is a big investment, but I think it's totally worth it. It's gonna seem scary, or a lot of people, like I was a skeptic also, right? I was like, I got life figured out, I'm a positive thinker. I have I felt like I had good morals, and I always strive to do the right things, but I was never getting the result in life. And that ended up making me feel like I'm just a nice guy, but then, I always lose, right? A nice guy never wins. But having invested in myself, number one, and a big investment at that, was not only life changing, it also shifted my mindset so much. Now I know that I can be still a nice guy, but if I have my priorities straight, you know
yeah,
I can still get the things that I want, and I won't have to lose. you know
yeah. Yes.
Nice guy don't have to finish last.
Yes. Boom.
Where's the mic? Where's the mic? Is there a microphone around here so I can drop it?
No, no, I don't have. That's beautifully said, Timmy. And I just want to say that I'm really happy for you for where you're at. I'm so proud of you just to see you've come, really from this the opposite end to now. Like I just want to say that I'm really proud of you. I was there to guide you and show you the ropes, but at the end of the day, you did it, even though I had to be on your case, but you did it. So
No,
give
no,
yourself.
no. I wouldn't say I did it. I mean, I did something, but then there's so much more to do,
Of course,
so much more to learn.
of course, of course. But do take that in. Like I do take that in and see how far you've come, and then
Oh
imagine what
yes,
else could happen, right? Down. So it's important to acknowledge that, okay? So I just want
absolutely. See, there you go again. My paradigm.
to that's okay. Well, with that, I just want to say thank you for coming on, and I'm excited to maybe invite you down the line to come back and share with us more manifestations. Yeah,
Absolutely, definitely. I'll be happy to.
awesome. Thanks.